Hello everybody, it's Kevin with Inspiring How You See That, and we have Brian.
Hey, how's it going everybody?
So we're going to be doing another awesome spotlight.
Yeah.
And what band are we going to be talking about
This
today?
is Skillet, and this is an artist spotlight we've been waiting for. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I wanted to do it with Kevin. Because we've seen them together a few times. I know you've seen them, I've seen them at least 4 times.
Well, here was the disappointment. When COVID hit, we were... Gavin also, and you'll see Gavin in a lot of the channels that we do about the What's New segment, just absolutely love Skillet, and the same thing with my wife. And we've saw them live many, many times. But what was cool about this one is it was a present for him to actually go and be in front row, and then be on stage himself. He wanted to be on stage with Skillet. And, for a, 10-year-old, would have been pretty awesome. So, but he does love many, many bands, but Skillet is definitely on the top of his list.
Oh, absolutely, for all of us. I mean, Skillet is one of my absolute favorite bands. In my video that I did, my top 12 bands, Skillet's on there. And so that's, for all the music that I love, that I absolutely adore Skillet, and I have for years.
So, we're hoping and praying next year.
Yep.
They have moved the concert to next year because I think it was in July of this year.
Yeah.
And they moved it to next year in 2021. So we were all supposed to go.
Yeah, we're going to take our buddy Sean.
And then that's when Gavin was going to be on stage this year. So with everything, we'll pray that next year will be good.
It'll happen.
But anyways, we're looking forward to that next year, you guys. And hopefully many of our subscribers and everybody else too that's out there, and we'll get this out to them, and then they can check out Skillet next year. But we're going to talk a little bit about Skillet and some of the things that we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, we've seen them multiple times. I actually got the opportunity to meet Skillet last year. I was down at the Uprise Festival in southern Pennsylvania with my buddy Josh, and we were able to do a meet and greet, and that was, I was starstruck. That was amazing. They were some of the nicest people you could meet. I mean, you didn't have a lot of time with them, but they were very friendly, especially Jon. Jon is the lead singer, Jon Cooper. I mean, he's just very outgoing guy. I mean, he treats you like he's known you forever.
What's cool about him is he reminds us, a lot of our friends.
The friends that's how he is. Exactly.
Yeah.
But they all were amazing. I mean, you've got Jon, his wife Korey. She's the guitarist in the band, as is Seth as the lead guitarist. And then there's Jen Ledger, the drummer, and she's a superstar in her own right. I mean, you haven't seen a drummer go amazing nuts until you see Jen Ledger live. I mean, she is all energy. It's just to watch her the whole time is amazing.
Not just drumming. I mean, when you
everything.
See him, I mean, she'll drum, sing,
and
sing when she's drumming, but then when she has a part where she doesn't play the drums and one of the other members or somebody else will switch on to play the drums, come down and sing and be in the audience, or some of the shows that we've been at, we were at the Winter Jam, which is great, and we can't wait to see you guys come back there again to the Winter Jam. But
Korey gave me a high five.
Yeah. But that was definitely cool.
Yeah. I mean, just everything. A Skillet show. I gotta say, and we've been to hundreds of shows.
We'll put some of the live feed behind us.
I gotta say, that was probably the best live show I've ever seen. I mean, with the flames, Jon was like freaking rappelling from the ceiling, 40 feet up. But then they had these platforms that came out like this and went around the entire infield, I guess you'd call it, where we were sitting.
We were on the ice because it was in Columbus, Ohio, and it was kind of
down on the floor.
Just a picture so you guys kind of know it's on the floor. And if any of you guys can ever make it to Winter Jam, and we put some segments out about Winter Jam, go. And it goes to a good cause, and a lot of the artists donate. Actually they donate almost 100%.
Skillet did
the proceeds. Well, Skillet did.
Skillet did.
But most of them, do, and other ones, of course, which we understand, they have to direct it towards some of their fuel costs and some of the other things, which you have to. But it's a very, very exciting event, and all the great proceeds.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what was going on is these platforms came by us, and one had Jon and one had Jen, and Jen came from me to you, right by, and that was cool. It's just to be able to see them live is absolutely amazing. And I think one of the things, besides their amazing music, that I love and respect about Skillet is there's a lot of bands and a lot of artists that call themselves Christian, and many are. I mean, and we're not going to name names, but some of them, I think, use that label for marketing purposes only. I mean, you know what I mean, and I think we all
not
realize
just
that.
Christian, but I mean, there's a lot of bands
Right.
that are, that do that, in a direction that whatever's kind of going on this day and age, they'll go that direction.
They're not really
That's
them.
not what we do with our
Exactly.
channel. Is no matter what the fad is, we're not going to just do it because it's a fad.
Exactly.
But
that is definitely not Skillet. I mean, Skillet is legitimate. Their money is where their mouth is. I mean, they are faithful Christians. And that's one of the things I've always loved. And, I believe they are the most successful Christian band ever as far as record sales.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they sold over 10 million albums.
Mm-hmm.
They've released 10 albums. And if you hear Jon talk, he doesn't shy away from his faith at all. As a matter of fact, he's actually gone on the offensive lately to where, he's talking about a lot of what I'll say is Christian leaders, not just in music, but in the church, walking away from their faith, denouncing their faith, and he's called them to task. And he's done it in a loving, gentle way, but I really respect the fact that he's like, I need to address this. Mm-hmm. This needs to be talked about. And, he's not afraid to take that stand for what he believes in. I mean, even to the point where he recently wrote a book called Awake and Alive to the Truth. And I don't believe it's been released yet. But I know I'm going to get a copy of that. I can't wait to see what he's written, because he's just an absolutely phenomenal guy. And, you go back through and you listen to, I think more what makes them stand out is, yes, they're a Christian group and they're very well known, very popular in the Christian community. They're also very popular in the metal community. So they have been able to successfully merge those two worlds to where we saw them at Incarceration. Mm-hmm. And they are not treated differently because they're Christian. They've been that successful, and I think that says a lot to, their talent, their songwriting ability, and just their personality, to where they're able to speak the truth, but they do it in a loving way that, they get along with everyone.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what they did at the Winter Jam,
mm-hmm.
spread the good word.
Exactly.
And we appreciate that, and it's just one of those things that you feel so comfortable when you're in there, and and everything's kind of off your shoulders.
Yep.
But you were talking about writing, and they've done many different things with their writing style, mm-hmm. and their charities. I mean, they
absolutely.
They always try to help out, and whether it be in their community or wherever they're at. They
mm-hmm.
go in, they speak, and I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, the time that they devote, and their parents too. So
yep.
I mean, it's very difficult, to balance it out, and they somehow find that way to do that.
It's impressive. It really is. And not only, I mean, Skillet takes up all the time, everything you mentioned, but Jen has her own side band called Ledger. Mm-hmm. Jon has his own side, Fight the Fury. Mm-hmm. And both of those bands, I encourage you to check out them. They're fantastic as well. Mm-hmm. And some of the songs that, if you haven't heard Skillet yet, Awake and Alive, Not Gonna Die, Stars is a beautiful song. That's the one that they did an acoustic version when we were there, and it was awesome. And of course, my favorite is Hero. It's a very, pump you up, it gets you going song. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers have used it when the team comes out of the tunnel. It's just that, that kind of stadium rocking, pump you up type of song, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah. So again, if you haven't checked out Skillet, absolutely do. And even if you're not a Christian, you'll still enjoy their music. Mm-hmm. It's still positive messages. It's outstanding singing, songwriting. Everything is phenomenal. So absolutely check them out. Check out Fight the Fury. Check out Ledger. You'll love them.
Yeah, and because it's so different, as many other bands that we talk about. What I like is, some of the songs might be really slow.
Right.
And it kind of slows down,
like a ballad,
the vibe a little bit,
yep.
In the stadium or wherever you're at in the festival. But then they'll get in and boom, and here comes a heavy metal, and then,
flames are shooting.
Yeah, and, depending upon what the regulations are in the arena or wherever you're at, but most of the time it is.
They definitely really push cool. the limits when it comes to flames and everything. I'm telling you, their show is awesome.
Yeah, so
you've got to see them
out.
live.
Definitely have to check them out, and we hope this. If you're new to Skillet, we're like Brian always says, or I say, subscribe to our channel and check it out and throw in some comments. Let us know. But if you're new to Skillet, tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
And or you're, a long Skillet fan back when
what's your favorite song?
Yeah, back when Jon was doing this way before he had blonde hair.
Before even knew Korey.
Yeah, before even knew Korey. Let us know some of those stories because, it's always cool to hear, and that's what we like to put out there, and we like to hear your input too as well.
Absolutely. So again, check them out. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this. And as always, we always love when you guys show up and spend this time with us. We love you. God bless. And rock on.
We'll see you next time.